This is Malcolm Ruff. This is Delegate Stephanie Smith, Delegate Kaylin Young, Delegate Jackie Addison, and Corey McCray. I'm in your district. I'm in the 13th district. So Antonio Glover got this too. This pertains to Antonio Glover. See the date? February the 2nd, 2011. I turned in the corruption here in Baltimore City and Baltimore County in the courts, and the corruption in the courts behind the war on drugs, N62528. That's a legal notice. Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Lake County, Illinois. State of Illinois versus Dwayne Davis. Case number 07C4988. I never got a trial. I'm not Emmett Till. I never got a trial. I'm still alive and breathing. Defendant was charged with a bomb threat, terrorist activity, notice of indigent status. All right. Governor O'Malley got that. Governor Quinn got that. The Attorney General, and Barack Obama. And that's notarized. All right. That's notarized. Makes it legal in any states. And Harry Spikes got that. You see it? That's Bank of America, legal processing site. All right. New York, 2012. Reference Jake Davis. All right. That's Brian Frosh. That's Brian Frosh. That's the check that the state of Maryland accepted, 3/25/2008. I was locked up in another state. That's not my signature. All right. And right here, dear sir, dear madam, Dwayne G. Davis, as of February 1st, is no longer the leasee at the Ridge Country Store. If I'm no longer the leasee at the Ridge Country Store on February the 1st, how am I signing checks on March the 25th? And I was locked up in another state. Right here, thank you for contacting the Comptroller's Office. Request for an audit and tax returns. All right. And right here it says, if you suspect tax fraud regarding your federal tax returns, contact the police department. I contacted the police department. Brian Frosh got this in 2016. That's Brian Frosh. The Democrats are using their position of power to block a federal investigation. Brian Frosh is part of it. That's Kwais Infome. He asked for an investigation. These are the supporters of Shorty's. We are employing any and all appropriate officials in the state of Maryland to assist Shorty in his efforts to find justice in Illinois. These are the supporters of Shorty's. January 5th, 2008, 1190 Falls Road. All right, those are the criminal charges against James Hammond. And it's right there. You feel me? Margaret Davis, Paul Weinblatt, Philip Davis, Cheryl Nelson. All right. And it's all notarized in Towson in 2008. These are the criminal charges. These are the criminal charges against Scott Schellenberger. Right there. All right. Maryland law. Art and activism, the art of protest. Like I said, interstate compact. I was in another state. I was locked up in another state. State of Illinois. Dwayne G. Davis. And that's my FBI file number. All right. My FBI file number. And it's all right here. These are the forged checks. That's not my signature. That's not my signature. That's not my signature. And that's James Hammond. That's $1,200. That's not my signature. That's not my signature. I was locked up in another state. And that's me and Congressman Cummings, 2014. The right to approach our officials to address grievances, the right to protest. And that toilet is a right to protest. If you look at it, the toilet, it says Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Social media for social change. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. Trump got toilets too. You feel me? Trump got toilets too. So Governor Westmore, I'm looking for exoneration of the Supreme Court. Kaylin gave you my paperwork. Antonio Hayes got my book. Corey McCray got my paperwork. You got my paperwork. Do blacks have rights in white America? Are blacks free in Maryland?